Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you a weekly update in Bitcoin Real-Time Index, a weekly bar chart. This one goes back 7 years. I did, by the way, record this video on Monday, July 7th, 2025, and I'm going to spend a couple minutes just kind of walking through the sequence of events over the last year or so. And that is, first and foremost was a 5-year channel top that we approached and violated the very same week, November of last year. Up to that point, this was considered meaningful long-term resistance that may well contain annual highs, and we could have fallen away from there. That was the idea at the time, but we also recognized that if we did close above this 5-year channel top, that is a significant show of strength for Bitcoin. Our next objective, which is yet to be realized, is 122,433. And that is nothing more than a full swing. So when I find myself in a market that's in sort of new highs, uncharted territory, unprecedented highs, these wave counts come into play as targeting mechanisms. There are other, obviously, tools one could employ, but I've been waiting, if you will, for 122,433 since November of last year. Initially, we thought with that kind of volatility, this is just about a 3 to 5 month objective, and we're a solid 8 months into that right now. Now, we did actually, following the January high, fall back to retest the 5-year channel top, and retest it we did. We broke below it significantly on an intra-week basis, but we never did close back below it. And had we, that would have been a significant sell signal into later year. As it turns out, this area did essentially hold. I would put the word hold in quotes because of all the incredible slippage, but because we didn't close below it, there was nothing to do but get long or stay long at this 84,654 5-year channel top. You can see, I'll probably zoom in here in the post editing to show that we did not close below it and have since pushed down to new highs. The May high, all-time high, 111,999. And we've been consolidating ever since. I'm going to walk us through a couple of other elements as we continue moving through time. We also, back in early May, closed above this descending channel top, which was another show of strength. I could go back in time as well to late April when we closed above this 6-8 week channel top. That told us, if you recall, that we were no longer going to be testing this long-term channel top, but should make our way up to the extreme channel top, which we did about 3 weeks later and then closed above it the very same week. And so 96,022 is solid pullback support, above which the 122,433 area, as I've been saying, remains a 2 to 3 month objective. Now, we've been consolidating now for the last 2 months, so the timing is off. That happens. But nonetheless, holding above the 96,022 formation will keep 122,433 in reach. At this point, over the next 2 to 3 months, and in fact, I'm going to zoom in this area here.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
And show you that we are presently, as of Sunday morning, pushing through this descending channel top at 108,798, and that correlates with the May high as well, January high, I've been mentioning how if we close any weekly session settlement above the the January 109,192 high, then we should see 122,433. That could be a 3 to 5 week move with an expansive volatility. This could also take a 2 or 3 months following a settlement above 109,192. And what I like about this descending channel top, this is another descending flag at the top of a move, classic buy signal upon settlement above. So even closing this week above 108,798 is in itself a valid buy signal. Now these two are so close together that no harm, no foul in waiting for also a weekly settlement above 109,192. They may well happen in the same week. They may well happen this week. And if they do close this week, if Bitcoin does close this week above 109,192, we've got a double buy signal essentially, also closing above this 2-month channel top. That should, as I say, by the end of August is possible, could certainly spill into October with presently kind of constrained volatility, 122,433. So buy signal this week with a Friday settlement above 108,798, double buy signal with a settlement above 109,192. If you haven't gone long Bitcoin yet and you're waiting to either buy on weakness or buy on strength, this is your buy on strength. And that should then yield, when I say the 120s, let's call it, over the next 2 to 3 months. And when I say 120s, I'm really also talking primarily about this newly formed rising channel top that is based in part on the April low. And so this is an objective. This is 2-3 months. This could be 3 to 5 months, but closing above 108,798, and again, if you wish, above 109,192, we should push into the 120s within 2 to 3 months. 122,433 is a full swing. That is nothing more than the November 21 high against that 22 low, and you flip that on its head, A minus B plus A, 122,433. It is not an inherent price ceiling per se, but it is an objective. And when you meet an objective, oftentimes, just the dynamics alone allows it to behave as resistance. So I think this is a sellable resistance area. I would rather have you sell this after exiting a long position rather than playing the short side at 122,433. I do think there's every reason to consider 129,089 as this formation as in reach by the end of the year. And if we close above 108,798, that just underscores that entire idea. So I think I've said enough about the upside. Now for the downside, we do have a newly formed descending channel bottom that is based in part on last week's high at 98,659. We also have, once again, I'll take you back to this chart, 96,022. So it is a range of support. And I'll take you back to this. We've got a 5/8 downside Fibonacci still. Sorry, 3/8 downside Fibonacci. That's all in the midst of all that. 96,022, 97,641, and again, 98,659. I'll be quite frank that if we were to close below 98,659, I am not interested in being long Bitcoin as we move into August-September trade. I do think the odds then favor a bearish continuation. But if you wanted to wait also for a settlement below that 96,022 descending channel top, I have no problem with that. It's basically this range here. There's your 98,000 level roughly. I just kind of screwed that up a little bit, but you can see it's kind of a narrow range. And I'll take us back to the proper chart, and that is 98,659 to 96,022. Really what I should be saying is, if you're going to buy Bitcoin on weakness, this is the zone. I just don't see it this week, certainly. And for the next few weeks, we could fall away from there. Once again, I'll take us to this chart here, 108,798. Let me zoom in there, 108,798. If we can't close above this area this week, if we can't close Friday above 108,798, if we back off, this is an area of resistance. This is a sellable resistance anyway. We are right there, though. In fact, 109,196, we're just above the 109,192 area. So we're certainly testing this area this week. If we close above it, bullish continuation into the 120s. If we close below it, bearish continuation into the mid to upper 90s. 96,022, the beginning of a range of, the base of support that begins at 98,659. So we're not going to see a settlement below 96,022 this week. But if over the next month or so we do, I'd see this market falling within a month or two into this zone of long-term support. Of course, we've got 84,000. Sorry, I didn't update this. That's 84,654. And I didn't update this either. But I'm going to right now, and this is the more important of the two, 76,578. And this is our base of support, as I've been saying. This channel bottom is in reach within a couple of months, 2 to 3 months of closing below 96,022. This range in the 76,578 to 84,572 area, well equipped to absorb selling through the rest of the year. And from here, we can rotate higher again, well into 26, closing below 76,578. I think we've got a good high well into 2026. And I think that pretty much rounds it out. I am going to leave it at that for this week's Bitcoin Index analysis. You have a great week.